Hi peoples, it's LEGO CYD 1999, back with more Hypixel Paintball. In the last episode, I'm not quite sure what we talked about, but I know that it was probably pretty cool, so, yeah. Proves how long ago I recorded that. Either way, in this episode, we are going to be talking about something else that I really want to talk about that's actually pretty recent news while playing another game, as usual. Let's see if I can find any new ones. I haven't been on here for a while, so I wouldn't be surprised if they had a few new maps. I mean, yeah. Suppose we could play on this D-Day map. So let's see what the teams are. Team Green and Team Purple. Meow. Slash Team Purple. Because that's totally how I pronounce purple. Either way, this episode's topic of the day, or the topic of the Wednesday that this is coming out, is going to be operating systems, and more specifically, the iOS 7 that just came out. So, I personally don't have a very recent iPod device, because I got mine, like, back in 2010-ish. So mine's pretty old. I have two iPods. I have a second generation and a fourth generation. So personally, I never saw a need to upgrade to iOS 7 or even iOS 6 because I liked the YouTube app on iOS 5. I personally think iOS 5 is the best iOS that has been made. I don't see why they took out some features of it. But either way, I'm here to talk about iOS 7. Overall, I'm not as big of a fan of the whole design. It feels much less touch responsive. Everything seems just a bit softer, which is a good thing, but at the same time, it's kind of tough to tell sometimes if you actually press something or not, because it doesn't quite have the same responsiveness in a way. I also don't like the way you remove apps running in background now, seeing as now you still do the double click thing, but now you actually have to like swipe up to delete them. It took me at least 30 minutes to figure that out on a friend's iOS device. So personally, I'm not a big fan of that. I'm also not a very big fan of the whole like lighter touch scheme and the lighter color schemes and stuff. And I'm especially not a big fan of the fact that now when you have like an app folder, you actually have windows you have to scroll through instead of them all being right there. I don't like that very much. And maybe that's just because, I'm kind of an old school Apple guy. I actually owned one of the original Macintosh computers when I was really young. I had one of the one of the earliest iPod shuffles as my first iPod. I then had like a early iPod Nano as my second one, and then I got an iPod Touch. And personally, I just think some of the updates nowadays aren't all that great, so I'm not getting this one. But on the topic of other OSs, I'd like to talk about stuff like computer OSs, like Windows 8 or Mac OS X or stuff like that, because that kind of stuff is, well, sometimes on my nerves. Oh, dang it, I snuck in so well. But yeah, like, personally, I can't stand Windows 8. I don't like the fact that it has such a tablet feel. It's not as good as Windows 7 for stuff that I do like this, video making and video gaming. It's just not as good. And I also don't really like the fact that it's so laptop based. You either need to be using a touchscreen laptop or a touchscreen all-in-one to use it. And personally, I'm not a big fan of either because I don't like touchscreen computers. If I want a touchscreen computer, I'd get iPad. So yeah. And as for Mac OS X, I am a pretty good fan of it. It's like, it's really useful. It's not as good for gaming and stuff, but like, I use it and I love the fact that it has iMovie and Final Cut and stuff like that, and GarageBand. Stuff like that makes it really good for me and maybe good for you, I'm not sure. But yeah. And as for other OSs, Linux I've never really used, so I don't have a preference. I just assume it's much, much more difficult to use in general. And Windows 7, I personally think is the best operating system on the market. I don't use it because it's, Windows and I have a Mac, even though I could do a dual boot. But, I think it's great for everything. It's got Vegas. It's got Sony Vegas. It's got some of the best stuff around. It's compatible with a lot of stuff. It's just overall a really good OS to use. It may be a bit confusing at first to somebody who's new to it, but it's not that bad. Suppose I should also get into console OSs, since this game is kind of dragging on a bit, and I have finished up on that. Xbox One? No. I don't like the whole idea of running multiple OSs on a console. I like it when my consoles can play games, but also may have apps for Netflix and stuff when I'm not playing games. That's the way I like having consoles. That's why I like my Wii so much. PS3, Xbox 360, Wii U, pretty good. I think Miiverse is great. My one complaint with it is that on the that it's still somewhat based around friend code, so. But overall, I think that it's really good, and in general, 3DS, really good handheld OS that it's running on. The eShop, along with the Wii U, could use a bit of work, but it's pretty good for what it is right now. It doesn't need all that many changes. Wow, I sniped that guy really well. And Wii OS, best. Yes, hands down. I love my Wii. Oh, shoot. TNT Rain. Oh, we lost. Oh, wait, we won? Purple team won? Yes! GG. Yeah, we won. Wasn't expecting us to win. That was a good game. But yeah. So post in the comments what you think about different OSs and stuff. Also leave comments on what you'd like me to talk about sometime. Give me feedback. Do you like the series? Do you not? I know some people do. Either way, see you guys next time, I guess. Bye.